happy to be back. I don't like business school, but the district made me go to these things, so, but it's fine. We had a quiz yesterday, and so don't worry about your score. The score is in there right now. I'm actually going to put it to where that score will not be affecting your grade. I'll do it later this period, okay? So you'll see the mark that's in there, but don't panic. Just, we kind of did it to do a visual to see where you're at. Yeah.
So that doesn't count as your grade?
So right now it is, but in about 30 minutes, I'm going to make it not count against your grade. For the whole rest of the year.
What if we wanted to?
Well, come see me on and off period. Cool. All right. So, few things that, so you will all need, we're going to step away from that red book for a little bit, okay? But you all will need to get that red book if you don't have it. Now, each of you is going to get this monster of a packet, okay? I have an alligator clip for you now. You really do need to get a 3-ring binder, okay? So, one for you, one for you. Next. So make sure you get a 3-ring binder. Put this in there along with the red book. Oh, you running it already? Cool. Will you remind me closer to the end of the period and I'll send you down to go get it? Is that cool? Hey Frank, I put you right here. You did nothing wrong, but I just needed to swap you. Cool? Frank, did you do that quiz yesterday? Yes, sir. Okay, I have one with a no name. I ain't finished. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to count against you. But I'm going to show you the one I have with no name, and you tell me if you're sure it's not, okay? Cool? Frank, that You're welcome. Okay. So, huh? You do not. Okay, so those binders you all have, those binders I just gave you, you need to put into a 3-ring binder. So please get yourself a 3-ring binder, okay? Okay. All right. So unclip, but make sure if you don't have a 3-ring binder yet, make sure you put the clip back on. Find the first page that has those dots. It's going to be it's lesson 2 in the book. And I wish I had a page number to tell you, but they didn't put page numbers at the bottom. But it says at the very top, lesson 2, growing dots. Does that make sense? Okay, lesson 2, growing dots. So, everyone find it? Dim the lights. Oh, it's so nice in here now. Okay.
I can't find it.
It's page 11.
There's a page number on there?
Yeah. I just hid it on
Oh. Yeah, there's 11 in the very middle bottom, but it's covered up by other. Yeah, you can unclip it, but you'll have to put it in the 3-ring binder eventually. Oh yeah, it's in a 3-ring binder. Unclip it. And if you don't need the clips anymore, I'll take the clips back because you already have a 3-ring binder. Thank you, sir. And thank you. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now my hands are full. Oh no. Thank you. Uh-oh. Oh boy. My hands are getting too full. Anyone else have a 3-ring binder? What page do you use? 11. It says at the bottom of the page. Not a. You do? Yeah. All right.
This is for like the whole, like how long are we gonna be?
We'll be in there quite a bit. Okay. So the artwork on the board over on the left is so much nicer than what my artwork would be, but I'm hoping that we can kind of start generating this. So talk to me. Talk to me about some things that you see with those dots. 11, middle, bottom, but there's words that are covering it, so you kind of have to squint. So it's close to the beginning. Okay. So, dots increase. Agree? Okay. And this is kind of one of those, you can write down what you might need, but you don't always have to write down everything that I have. Okay, so dots increase. We all good? Okay. How many more did we go from there to there and then there to there? 4. Okay. Okay, we're rolling. We seem to be doing okay. So we have 4 dots that basically goes from one to the next. Okay. Is everyone good? Hi. How are you? What do you got?
I was just about the medical career.
My class?
Yeah.
You're
I do have you, but I didn't know what day.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday before school, 7 a.m. Shilling law.
Get out.
No. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, would you feel comfortable if I go +4, I get to here? If I go +4 from that, I get to here? Seem okay? So, what we know so far, so this is some sort of activity where in the very beginning there's 1, and then after 1 minute there became 5, after 2 minutes there became 9, and it just got to keep going and going. Okay? So, anyone have an idea how many dots there would be after 3 minutes? Yeah. Yeah. So after 3, there would be how many? 13? So we'll put a question mark there. So let's make sure we can generate that. So we have 1 dot here, we have 5 here, we have 9 here. So each of those we're adding 4 each time. And in order to get after 3 minutes, there's 13 of them. Okay. Now, Jim, I'd like you in a desk, please. This is my statistics class. I got every seat, including those 4. Yeah. Well, you might have to get another one. Do I have to bring you the clip back? All right. So I want you to think about this for a minute and maybe talk to your neighbor about this. So if we have 1 dot starting, we have 5 dots after 1 minute, we have 9 dots after 2 minutes. After 3 minutes, if the pattern continues adding 4, we'll go to 13 dots. Agree? Oh. How many dots are there after 100 minutes? And would it be mathematically feasible to continue the pattern, drawing dots to get up to the 100-minute mark? That's a lot of dots. Agree? So let's think about this for a minute. Let me wipe this board down. Go to the next one. So we go 15913. And it keeps going. So this is at 1 minute, or at 0 minutes. 1, 2, 3 minutes. Okay? And we're trying to figure out 100 minutes, how many dots? And so other things that we know, from here to here, it's +4. From here to here, +4. From here to here, +4. How might mathematically, you could try and draw the dots, but I'll see you next Tuesday because you're going to be busy. That's an awful lot of dots. And you're like, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, don't talk to me, because you're trying to concentrate on you drawing dots. So, what do you think? Well, do you think maybe there might be a formula that we might could come up with? Like I said, if I give you a formula of like x plus 10, where x or n plus 10 or something like that, where x or n was minutes, and you just had to put in the minutes and it would tell you what you got, wouldn't that be a little simpler? Okay. So, some sort of formula and equation. Now, I would like, because this is at the start, so that's at 0 minutes. It's like you put something on this desk that's going to increase. So you put that one thing down and you watch it. Like after a minute, like, oh, now there's 5. Oh, there's 9. Okay, it keeps going every minute. So maybe some sort of formula or equation. But I don't need to make the formula based on trying to figure out 100. I think we could try and make the formula off of what we know here. What do you think? There's a little bit of a stretch of a thought. Bless you. A little stretch of a thought. Bless you again. So I want to know if I plug 0 in, I get 1 out. If I plug 1 in, I get 5 out. If I plug 2 in, I get 9 out. If I plug 3 in, I get 13 out. Okay. So let's think about this. We're going to use a term. We're going to go, let's use the letter N. We're going to allow N to be these numbers here. Okay? Those are N. Okay. So let's think. I'm going to use the letter N that I have right here. Let me highlight it so we know where we're looking to the board when I refer back to it. We're going to somehow make ourselves some sort of equation that we're going to plug in this yellow blob. Okay? So let's think about this. Okay, if I plug 0 in and I get 1 out. If I plug 0 in for N right now, if I plug 0 in for N, what does the answer have to be right now with what we have sitting? What do you think? If I plug 0 in right now for N, N's sitting there. Ready? So all I'm going to do is this. Ready? Watch me. If I plug 0 in right there, I replace N with what? 0. So what's the answer right here? 0. If I plug 1 in right here, N is now what? 1. If I plug 2 in, N is now what? Just 2. 2. I'm replacing. And then 3. And then if I plug 100 in, I get 100 out. But I'm trying to get these numbers here. Idea? Can you give me a few? Okay. So, there's got to be something more that we could generate from the information we have here. So these are the numbers I'm going to try and replace with n. But if I replace the n with a 0, I want to have a 1 for an answer. If I replace n with a 1, I want a 5 for an answer. If I replace n with a 2, I want to have this as an answer. But it has to be the same thing. I like it. It is something that math operation. It could be add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I like your thinking. So let me ask you this: if we were to subtract, what would we subtract? Let's explore it. Let's see what we can see.
Like 5 plus 4 and 9 plus 4, then you do 13, then you do times.
Okay. Okay. So I got some thinking going on. I like this. So let's ask this. So that plus 4 is going to be important here. So let me think about this. If we change that, and this is just a thought, let's see if this works. So let's see. If I plug 3 in, I get 7 out. If I plug 2 in, I get 6 out. If I plug 1 in, I get 5 out if I plug 1 in, but it didn't work here and here. If I plug 0 in, I get 4 out. So something didn't work. So that's first thought. That's first thought. So I don't think the n plus 4 works. It worked on one of them, which was great, but we have 4 things that we're trying to make it work for all 4, not just one of them. Agree? Any other thoughts? So I'm going to erase this. Okay. That didn't quite work for us. How much are each of these, the ends growing? This is growing, adding 1 each time, right? And these are growing by adding 4 each time. What did you say it? 1 plus 4. Okay. But I want to know, like, when I can plug it in for any number, it's going to give me the exact number of dots I'd have out. So I'm going to put a little note here. This very top goes up 1 each time. Agree? So let's try this first. Okay. Let's say that we're coming up with this equation of n plus 1. If I plug 0 in, I get 1 out. Hey, we might be onto something. Okay. If I plug 1 in, I get 2. Shoot. It worked on the 0, but it didn't work on the 1. Gosh. Maybe divide. But I mean, this is like our very first example out of this book, so I don't know if we're going to throw a divide. I mean, I love your thought, though. Is there another number that we came up with up there that was not part of our list? It's in blue, and it happens each time. 4. Okay. What happens with this? Let's take a look at this. Hey, if I have 4 and n right next to each other, what math operation is taking place with 4 and n? Multiplication. Very good. Okay, ready? Let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to take 0 and I'm going to put it in for n. Yes? Is 4 times 0, 0 is 0 plus 1, that? Do me a favor. You agree that first one works? Will you try plugging 1 in, plugging 2 in, and plugging 3 in, and seeing if you get the 5, 9, and 13? Try it real quick. And give me a fist of 5. If it doesn't work at all, give me a fist. If it works totally, give me a 5. Make sense?
Wait, so we do 4 plus 5 or 4 times 5?
This right here means we're going to multiply. So we're going to take these red numbers here, the 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to replace it. So it'll become 4 times 0, 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3. And then we'll add 1 to whatever those answers are. See if we're going to get that. Yeah. Get it? You give me a 5? What do you think? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Frank, run real quick. Got it? You going to?
Yeah.
Go quick. Guard the door for each other. Get the 5? Run real fast. Get the 5? Mi amigos, 5, 0.
Wait, isn't it?
55, right? Did I say it right? Was it close? It was like all out of context. Hey, but I had the words.
Yeah,
It's
you
just,
got
it's like, yeah, but you said, dog went Friday after school. I'm like, give me 5?
Can I get some water? Thank you.
Oh, yeah. One of these. Yeah. 1 times 100 is 100, right? Yeah, we'd be out on the parking lot.
It's minor,
All right. So let's talk about what we have up here. Let's talk what we have up here. We have f at n. That's the same thing as y, but we're going to use like a function thing. Is equal to 4n plus 1, because that works for our pattern. So I take 0, I go 4 times 0, 0, 0 plus 1, I get 1. Take 1, plug it in, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is, oh, that should be a 5, isn't it? Woo! And then if I take 2, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. Ready? 4 times 100. 400. 400 plus 1. So our 100th term would have 401 dots. That's a big dot pattern. So the nice thing is we created something, a tool to use, rather than counting out dots on a piece of paper. Agree? Okay. So, do you remember? Do you agree? Time is 0, 1, 2, 3, 100. Dots is 1, 5, 9, 13, 401. Okay. Okay. Let's explore this a little bit further. Let's come down. So this right here is called the table, meaning down here we can make our table. So this is our table right here. You can fill it in that where it says table. Mesa. Right? And then the equation is this. This is a mathematical operating equation. It's like the tool to increase and improve. Okay. So let's regroup real quick. Shh. Okay. So I ran out of room on my table, on my graph. I was able to go 0, 1 to get this point here in pink. And then I was able to do in orange 1, 5. And then in purple I was able to do 2, 9. Agree? Agree? What is this starting to look like? Okay. Let me ask you. What, if I were to connect these dots, does it appear a straight line works? So it's linear. I like these terms. I like this. So linear. Agree? It's linear. Okay. What do you think? So what do we kind of learn off of this? That we might be able to look at, something that might go along with an equation. Okay. So on that page that's there, we can get maybe jot some notes down on that, okay? Okay. So this here, which is this, okay? So this here, which I rewrite as a function here. So let's take a look at a couple of things. So the number 4 that's in front of the n, where do you think that number 4 came from in front of the n? Yeah, how many are in between? How many of them counting up by? Now, that's an interesting thought. I love this. Where did the +1 come from? The very first, so that the plugging 0 in, right? Okay, so let's kind of maybe see if we can build this idea a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. You can just jot it down, kind of like little notes to go on the side. Okay, so the 4 came from the plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. The 4 in front of the n, or 4 in front of the letter. The plus 1 came from, because that was as I plugged 0 and I wanted to get 1 out. So it was like the first iteration. It's what we started with. It's what we started with. And that 0, 1 could be thought of as could be thought of where it crosses the y-intercept.
I was trying to get the
You ran the calculator.
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I did. I tried to get the calculator.
Where are you? Oh, there is. This one right here? No. No. That's the closest restaurant. That's what you use. That one is very good. I'm not going to debate you. I know that. The 3 of you lost restroom privileges until May. Deal with it. You don't like it? Get out. No, you spoiled it. You destroyed it. All 3 of you destroyed it. You all said you're going to the restroom. You didn't do what I did. I don't care where you went. That restroom is 30 feet away from my class. You don't like it? You want to debate me? Get your stuff. Get out of my class right now. Go to your dean. Take your stuff and get out. Insubordination. Argumentative. Out. I want to argue. Grab your bag. Get out. Go to your dean. If you have a problem with it, I'm happy to have mommy or daddy, aunt, uncle, whomever come sit right next to you so you know how to behave in school. Okay? You spoiled it. It's yours. It's on you. Okay. So, starting now take a look at the lesson summary. The lesson summary. Okay? The lesson summary, which is on the following page. Take a look and work for the rest of the period. See if you can figure out problems 1, 2, and 3.